Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now when you think of a museum, what comes to mind? Probably, big paintings, old statues, maybe a dinosaur skeleton or two, right? And those are great, I love a good T-Rex. But what if I told you there's a whole other world of museums out there? Places that are a little different, a little strange. We're talking about museums dedicated to things you would never, ever expect to see behind a glass case. These aren't your typical field trip destinations, folks. These spots are incredible because they completely flip the script on what a museum is supposed to be. They take everyday objects, bizarre collections, and even feelings, and they put them on a pedestal. It's all about celebrating the weird, wonderful, and sometimes wacky sides of human creativity and history. They challenge our ideas of what's important, what's art, and what's worth remembering. You walk into one of these places and you're guaranteed to see something that makes you laugh or think or just go, "Wait, what?" By showcasing the mundane, the forgotten, and the downright odd, these museums give us a peek into parts of life we usually ignore. They show us that there's a story behind everything, from a broken toaster to a lock of hair. So get comfortable because we are about to take a tour of the most unique collections on the planet. Prepare to embark on a journey through some of the most unusual museums around the globe, where everyday objects and extraordinary stories converge in unexpected ways. Alright, first stop, we're heading to Zagreb, Croatia, and we're starting with a heavy one, but also a beautiful one. It's called the Museum of Broken Relationships. I know, sounds like a real downer, right? Like, who wants to go look at sadness? But trust me, it's not what you think. This place is one of the most human, most relatable museums you could ever imagine. It's not about the pain, really, it's about the story that comes after. It's about moving on. The whole concept is brilliant. People from all over the world donate items from their past relationships that have ended. It could be anything. A wedding dress, a pair of fuzzy handcuffs, yeah really, an old Nokia phone, or even an axe that someone used to chop up their ex's furniture. I am not kidding, an actual axe. Can you imagine the story behind that one? Each item is displayed with a little plaque, an anonymous story from the donor explaining what it is and what it meant to them. You walk through the exhibits, and it's just this incredible wave of emotion. Some stories are hilarious, like the guy who donated a prosthetic leg because his girlfriend, a nurse, left him for a guy she met at work who, get this, also had a prosthetic leg. He said he felt it was a trophy of his failure. Others are so touching and sad they'll just break your heart. You see a simple teddy bear and read about a long-distance love that just couldn't survive the miles. It's powerful stuff. What's so amazing is how it takes these totally ordinary, everyday objects and gives them this massive emotional weight. A wind-up toy, a mixtape, a single shoe, things you'd normally just throw away, but here they become relics of a shared human experience, love and loss. It reminds you that everyone, everywhere has gone through this. It connects you to complete strangers on this deeply personal level. You find yourself rooting for these people you'll never meet. So, it's not really a museum of sadness, it's a museum of resilience. It's a testament to the fact that we all get our hearts broken, but we survive, we heal, and we carry these stories with us. It's about the objects we keep to remember, or maybe the objects we give away to finally forget. It's funny, it's heartbreaking, it's weirdly uplifting, and it's a place you will never ever forget. It's a must-see, truly. Okay, from the heart to the bathroom. Everybody ready for this? Our next stop takes us to New Delhi, India, to a place that is dedicated to something we all use every single day but probably never think about, the toilet. Yes, you heard me. The Sulabh International Museum of Toilets. And before you start laughing, which, go ahead, it's pretty funny, this place is actually fascinating. It's a surprisingly deep dive into human history and sanitation. This museum traces the entire, and I mean entire, 5,000-year history of the toilet. It starts with the simple drainage systems of ancient civilizations like the Harappans and takes you all the way to the high-tech space-age toilets of today. You can see everything from simple chamber pots and ornate throne-like commodes used by French royalty to disguised toilets that look like bookcases. A bookcase toilet. Imagine trying to find a book and surprise, it's a whole different kind of reading material. The collection is just wild. They have replicas, diagrams, and historical records. There's a toilet modeled after a treasure chest. There's a detailed account of the first flushing toilet, invented for Queen Elizabeth I by her godson, Sir John Harrington. He was a poet, and he even wrote a pamphlet about his invention with puns and everything. A true pioneer. The museum is packed with these little-known facts and quirky stories that make you see this everyday object in a whole new light. But here's the thing, it's not just for laughs. The museum has a really important mission. It was founded by Dr. Bindeshwar Pathak, a social reformer who has dedicated his life to improving sanitation in India. The museum is designed to raise awareness about the history of hygiene and the critical need for proper sanitation in developing countries. It highlights the health crises caused by a lack of toilets and promotes the work of the Sulabh organization in providing safe, clean facilities for millions. So, you go in expecting a joke, and you come out with a real education. You learn about technology, social history, and public health. You see how something as simple as a toilet has shaped societies, prevented diseases, and changed the way we live. It's one of those places that perfectly blends the weird and the wonderful with a genuinely important cause. The Toilet Museum. Who knew it could be so profound? Add it to the list. Alright, brace yourselves, people. We're going from the toilet to, well, something else entirely. We're heading north, way north, to Reykjavik, Iceland, for a museum that is unique. There's no other word for it. It's the Icelandic Phallological Museum. And if you don't know what phallological means, let me spell it out for you. It's a penis museum. Yes, a museum, full of penises. This is a real place, I promise. Founded by a former teacher and historian, Sigurdur Jartursson, this museum started as a personal hobby, and has since grown into a world-famous and surprisingly scientific institution. We're not talking about art or sculptures here, we're talking about the real deal. The museum houses over 200 penises and penile parts belonging to almost all the land and sea mammals found in Iceland. It's like Noah's Ark, but a very, very specific part of Noah's Ark. You walk in, and it's just jars. Jars everywhere. You've got everything from the tiny, tiny member of a hamster, which you need a magnifying glass to see, all the way up to a piece of a blue whale's penis that is taller than me. It's gigantic. They have specimens from whales, seals, polar bears, and even a horse. It's a bizarre but strangely educational tour through the animal kingdom's reproductive anatomy. It's biology class on a whole other level. The museum takes a very clinical, scientific approach to the whole thing. Each exhibit is carefully labeled with information about the species, the size, and other biological details. It's less about being shocking and more about being a comprehensive collection for study. They even have a folklore section dedicated to the penises of mythical creatures like elves and trolls, which is just fantastic. And the big question everyone has, is there a human specimen? For a long time the answer was no, but they did receive a pledge from a donor, and now have one on display. Honestly, you have to appreciate the sheer dedication it takes to create a collection like this. It's a perfect example of someone following their passion, no matter how unconventional it might be. It's weird, it's awkward, it'll make you giggle, but you'll also walk away knowing more about biology than you ever thought you would. It's a one-of-a-kind experience that you can only find in Iceland. The Penis Museum, it exists, and it's kind of amazing. Okay, let's move on to something a little less biological. Our next museum is tucked away in a small town in Turkey called Avanos, famous for its pottery. But deep in a cave beneath a pottery shop lies something truly unexpected. It's the Avanos Hair Museum, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a cave, lined with hair. Thousands and thousands of locks of hair. It sounds creepy, but the story behind it is actually very sweet. The museum was started over 40 years ago by a local potter named Shea Galip. The story goes that a friend of his was leaving town, and as a memento she gave him a lock of her hair. He put it up in his shop, and as he told the story to visitors, other women who came through were so moved that they started leaving locks of their own hair, and it just grew. From one lock of hair to a few, then hundreds, then thousands. Today the collection has over 16,000 samples of hair from women all over the world. The entire ceiling and walls of this subterranean cave are covered. Each lock of hair has a little tag with the name and address of the donor. It's like this massive, sprawling, organic tapestry of human connection. You walk in and it's just overwhelming. The sheer volume of it is hard to comprehend. It's a little dark, a little dusty, and completely mesmerizing. Twice a year, the founder, Shea Galip, invites the first customer who comes into his shop that day to go down into the cave and choose 10 locks of hair at random from the ceiling. Those 10 lucky winners get an all-expenses-paid trip back to Avanos to attend a pottery workshop for free. It's his way of giving back to the community that has literally become a part of his shop. It's this beautiful, continuous circle of giving and remembering. It's a powerful statement on memory, connection, and the little pieces of ourselves we leave behind. Each strand of hair represents a person, a story, a moment in time when a visitor felt a connection to this strange little cave in Turkey. It's one of the most personal and intimate collections I've ever heard of. It transforms what could be seen as just, well, discarded hair, into a living, breathing monument to human connection. It's beautiful in the most wonderfully weird way. And for our final stop, we're coming back to the United States, to Massachusetts, for a museum that celebrates something we can all relate to: failure. Glorious, hilarious failure. Welcome to the Museum of Bad Art, or MOBA, as it's affectionately known. Their motto is "Art Too Bad to Be Ignored," and folks, they are not kidding. This place is an absolute treasure. It's dedicated to collecting, preserving, and exhibiting the finest bad art in the world. The whole thing started when an antique dealer found a painting in the trash between two buildings in Boston. It was a painting called "Lucy in the Field with Flowers." He showed it to his friends. They loved how terrible it was, and they decided they should start a collection. And so, the Museum of Bad Art was born. It's a celebration of sincere effort that just didn't quite work out. The key is that the art has to be genuine. It can't be created by someone trying to be bad. It has to come from a place of real, honest, misguided artistic vision. The collection is just fantastic. You've got portraits where the eyes are pointing in different directions, landscapes with bizarre color choices, and surreal scenes that make absolutely no sense. There's a famous one of a woman in a blue dress, who looks like she's flying or falling, holding what looks like a feather duster. Another one shows a dog in a car, in a swamp, being attacked by a duck. The interpretations written on the little plaques are as funny as the art itself. What I love about this museum is that it's not mean-spirited. It's not making fun of the artists. Instead, it's celebrating them. It's acknowledging the creative impulse, the courage it takes to pick up a paintbrush and try to make something beautiful, even if the end result is, well, this. It reminds us that there's value in the attempt. It takes the pressure off. Not everything has to be a masterpiece to be worthy of being seen. In a world obsessed with perfection, with curated Instagram feeds and flawless results, the Museum of Bad Art is a breath of fresh, hilarious air. It tells us that it's okay to try and fail. It's okay to be a little bit weird, a little bit wonky. It's a joyful, unpretentious, and incredibly funny experience that will leave you with a huge smile on your face. It's the perfect reminder that sometimes the best art is the art that makes you laugh the hardest. So there you have it, from heartbreaking relics of past loves and the secret history of toilets, to a scientific collection of, well, you know, an art that's so bad it's brilliant. These museums are so much more than just cabinets of curiosities. They are vibrant, living spaces that completely redefine what a museum can be. They push boundaries, they make us laugh, they make us think, and they show us that there is a story and a slice of humanity to be found in the most unexpected places imaginable. These places prove that history and culture aren't just found in grand halls and famous masterpieces. They're in a lock of hair, a donated teddy bear, or a painting that someone poured their heart into, even if their hands didn't quite follow. Visiting one of these museums isn't just a quirky day out. It's an opportunity to see the world through a completely different lens, to appreciate the odd, the overlooked, and the wonderfully human aspects of our world. I seriously encourage you to seek out the weirdness. It's a big, strange world out there, and these museums are just the tip of the iceberg. What's the weirdest museum you've ever been to? Let me know in the comments below. For more content that will expand your horizons and challenge your perceptions, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the world's strangest museums, where the odd and the extraordinary meet to create unforgettable experiences.